Hello and welcome back. So today's video is going to be one about a love triangle that involved a queen, her lover, and the queen's cousin. Queen Elizabeth I of England was known as the Virgin Queen who never married, though there were rumours going around saying that she was having a relationship with her childhood friend Robert Dudley. Now Dudley was actually already married to Amy Robsart, but then Amy died under mysterious circumstances. I have done a video about this if you'd like to check it out. Hopefully there's a link in the corner somewhere for it. Now, it was really obvious that there was something going on between Elizabeth and Dudley. They were certainly very close and they would spend a lot of time with each other, and Elizabeth made sure he was always around her. So yeah, we can say there was something going on. But even though Dudley's wife Amy was now dead, Elizabeth and Dudley did not marry. Dudley really wanted to marry Elizabeth, and he actually spent more than a decade trying to convince her to marry him. But she wouldn't, and she was actually quite mean to him. Whenever he asked her to marry him, she would pretend to think about it, but then refuse to give him an answer, so he basically had no idea what was going on. So by 1565, Dudley was becoming really frustrated with Elizabeth and her indecisiveness. So he decided that the best way to get Elizabeth to agree to be his wife was to make her jealous. Enter the woman who I think has an absolutely amazing name, Lettice Knowles. That's right, lettuce as in the vegetable. Lettice was known as one of the best looking ladies at court, and she was also related to Queen Elizabeth. Elizabeth's aunt Mary Boleyn was also Lettice's grandmother. Elizabeth actually liked Lettice a lot, and Lettice actually served in the Queen's household for a brief period of time. She had married Walter Devereux Viscount Hereford in 1561. She went off to live with him at his estate, but then in 1565 she returned to court to attend her brother's wedding. Elizabeth treated her cousin well, but soon things went downhill, because Dudley decided that the woman he was going to try and make Elizabeth jealous with was Lettice, who was married and also pregnant with her third child. Dudley flirted with Lettice, hoping that this would make Elizabeth finally agree to marry him, but this certainly did not make Elizabeth want to marry him, and she had a go at him instead. Years went by, and Dudley soon came to the realization that Elizabeth was never going to marry him. So he had an affair with one of Elizabeth's ladies in waiting, Lady Douglas Sheffield, and they had a son together. Lettice's life also changed. In 1576, her husband died of dysentery while in Dublin. It was rumoured that he had been poisoned on Dudley's orders because Dudley really did not like him, but there is no actual truth in this at all. But in 1577, Lettice visited Dudley's Warwickshire estate. There, the two of them became very close. They fell in love and decided to marry. But there was one problem: Queen Elizabeth. Even though Queen Elizabeth didn't want to marry Dudley, she didn't really want anyone else to marry him. Oh, tell a lie, she did actually offer him as a husband for Mary Queen of Scots, but that was probably more so she had like an English spy there, but this was turned down anyway. So anyway, Elizabeth basically just wanted Dudley to just be around just for her, to follow her around, worshipping her basically. But Dudley was obviously getting fed up with this. He had fallen in love and he just wanted to be happy. Now, I'm just going to add this little thing here about why he may have gone for Lettice. Not saying this is why he did, but considering that he really, really loved the Queen and then he really loved Lettice, it was said that Queen Elizabeth and Lettice Knowles looked a lot like each other. Now, I'm not saying that he went with her because she looked like Elizabeth, but I'm just putting that out there that she did. So Dudley and Lettice decided to marry in secret, which they did on the 21st of December 1578. They married at Dudley's home in Essex in front of a couple of witnesses. Their secret, of course, did not stay secret for long, because no secret ever does. Queen Elizabeth found out that they had married and she was pissed. At first, she wanted to lock Dudley in the Tower of London, but was persuaded not to do so by the Earl of Sussex. Instead, Dudley left the royal court, leaving Lettice to deal with the Queen by herself. Now, Lettice didn't really care that Elizabeth was mad at her. She had basically married for love, and she was proud of that fact. She did, of course, begrudgingly apologise to Elizabeth for marrying without her permission, and Elizabeth did banish her from court. But Elizabeth allowed Dudley to return to court, and they took up being friends as if nothing had happened. Dudley died in 1588, and Lettice was at his side when he died. Queen Elizabeth was really upset about his death, and she acted like she was the only person who was allowed to be upset about his death. Lettice ended up dying years later when she was 91 years old in 1634, and they are buried next to each other. So there's a little video about a little Tudor love triangle. If you enjoyed this video, like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Bye.